it kind of took off. It got to the point where I think I'm about 80,000 followers now. Here is a product of all my hard work, of all of my mistakes, of everything that I've encountered. And yeah, I'm giving it to you. Here's the blueprint. Now make it yours and grow it and be an amazing realtor. I was in a car accident a little bit after her birthday, and I realized there was so many things that I still wanted to do, and why limit myself to do those things.
Welcome to another episode of the Realist Podcast, a podcast where we have the cream of the crop, the best and the brightest real estate professionals from the Houston area. And today we have Miriam here with us. We are so excited. I knew I had to have you on because I have been doing, like I told you, a little bit of stalking. I mean, researching on TikTok. And I think we met on social media, right?
Yes.
Or we started doing business through social media. That's why I love the power of social media. And so I've been seeing a little bit of your journey, seeing how it's going, how you've been growing. And I'm like, I have to have Miriam on. I have to have her talk to all of our clients and all of the real estate professionals around the Houston area, tell them about your journey. So I'm so happy you're here. Thank you. Thank you for being here.
No, thank you so much for having me. And yes, we did meet on social media and we began working together. I want to say, if not last year, earlier this year. And I'm always texting you guys, I need help. When can you take a video of my listing? And you guys have just been amazing to work with.
Yay, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Okay, so you have so much to your story, to your journey. And we did a little survey, a little poll on Instagram. What do you want to hear about real estate professionals? And they said their journey. And I'm so glad you have a phenomenal journey.
It's been a journey, definitely.
Yes. So take me back, because I know you came from humble beginnings and now you're this amazing rock star of a real estate agent, because you've always been a rock star of a person. So take me back. Take me back however far you want to take me back.
Okay. So before I was a real estate agent, I was a high school teacher. I decided to get my real estate license when I was married at the time with my ex-husband, which we are on great terms now. He's an amazing
Yay,
father.
that's awesome.
But he had DACA status at the moment, and nobody wanted to help us find a house. We kept getting rejected by not only real estate agents, but by loan officers. We went to Bank of America. I don't know if I'm allowed to say names here, but a couple other places that would just not assist DACA because they're a little bit difficult or were a little bit difficult to help to purchase a home. So I began doing my research, and I decided that I could do this. I could be that person to put the resources out there, because there were plenty of resources.
Wow.
And to talk about it, and because I'm very fluent in Spanish, it's my first language, and I just felt like I could really help my community.
Yay. Okay, so pause there. So while you were teaching, you were getting your real estate, the license?
Yeah.
Oh, very cool. Okay, so we have one thing in common. We used to be teachers too.
I love that. So we all left that.
Why did you leave?
Well, COVID, right? It was so hard to teach virtual because the kids were, and I taught seniors, so they were, seniors are already checked out as it is.
Yes.
And you have COVID, and it was so sad because they missed their prom, their graduation. We never got to give them a proper goodbye. And to this day, there's still some that stay in touch with me through Instagram, and they bring those memories up, and it's really, it's sad, but I realized they were checked out. They didn't want to get on the video calls anymore. I was getting kind of, in trouble for not getting them on calls, but what could I do? And I realized, you know what, this method of teaching was just not going to work for me. At that point, I already had my real estate license for a year. I had just not utilized it.
Yeah.
And I decided to go back to my original plan, and I just jumped the gun. I quit teaching.
That's
and
amazing.
I went just full time, all out.
That is so great. That's the way to do it, right? You got to take that leap of faith, or else
It
nothing
was a
is going to
big
get
leap,
done.
a big leap.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Okay, well, that's so fun. That's a fun similarity. We have tons of clients that are ex-teachers. And we're like, why are you now a real estate professional?
Oh yeah, one of my agents was a past teacher, and he's doing amazing. Christian, I think you worked with him, and he taught for 10 years, and he loved it, but it's just a very difficult job to stay on
Yeah.
when kind of the back end support, and not to say admin, but maybe like funding and just going to government, it's not there.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that is awesome. That is something cool that is able to be here. This opportunity for people that are looking for something else, and teachers. I feel like we have such a heart of servitude, right? Because we're
Yeah.
serving these kiddos that sometimes, I mean, they're not our kids, and but we still love them anyways, and we
Yes.
want the best for
Yeah.
them.
We
And
then we
so
take them on as our
yeah.
kids.
And so that transfers to real estate. I
Yes.
see teachers as real estate, or ex-teachers that are now real estate agents, work in another level. Like all
Yeah.
the ways that they educate their clients, the way that they work, I love it. So
Yes.
that's cool to be in the same camp in that area. Okay, so you said that your husband was a DACA recipient and he was having troubles, and that is what inspired you to help a certain client or a certain type of family. I love
Yes.
that, because sometimes real estate agents say, I just want to serve everybody or anybody. But directing yourself to a certain type of person is so special to that family, because they know she knows my needs. She knows exactly what I want. So, what can you give me a few things or a few pointers that you tell your DACA recipient families, or how do you help these types of families that are Spanish speaking? I mean, you know all of that area. Tell me, how do you help these people?
One was creating Spanish documents, obviously not legal trek documents and contracts, but creating documents that would help them understand the process and the timeline of purchasing a home, because everything was in English. I had to go into Canva, and we as teachers love Canva.
Yes.
So I went into Canva and I started creating my own documents that would break it down and would help them understand this is what you need to purchase a home. And once you go under contract, this is what you will expect to pay up front, such as inspection, appraisal, any fees that they were just not aware of, because we think purchase a home and just, oh, I just need the down payment. But wait, you also need to have money for the closing cost. And have you thought about what you're going to do with an inspection? And do you have funds to close? So it's really just sitting down, and every single client that I've met in person, and I've sat down with them to explain the process in person, because to me, I just need to make sure they understand it. And I need to make sure that it makes sense to them to know what it is to buy a home, and that they can qualify. DACA can qualify even for down payment assistance. ITIN can qualify with down payment as low as 10% instead of the 20% that is always being thrown around. So it's just giving them this information in person so they can trust you, and so that they can really understand everything.
Yeah, I love that. And being Spanish speakers of second language, having that language barrier, on top of that, not having the knowledge can sometimes limit people from even thinking about purchasing a home. They're like,
Yeah.
what have you ever heard of a story? You've worked with over 130 families in 3 years. That's insane to me. That's crazy. Have you ever encountered, or have they told you, like, we were not doing this because we just thought it wasn't possible for us?
Oh yeah, all the time. I just never thought it could happen. I'll see you on TikTok, and I saw that you said this in video, and I thought, well, I have all of that. Let me reach out. And they're closing in their home, and at the closing table, they're so grateful. And I think that's something about the families that just gets to you and touches your heart, is them not realizing how much they could accomplish. All they just needed was a little bit of information, and everything else,
Wow.
it was them. They put in the hard work. They saved their money. They got all their documents in order. They did their taxes the way they were supposed to, or
Wow.
had their bank statements in order. But all the hard work was theirs.
Yeah.
We just feed them the correct information.
Mm-hmm.
And the sad part with Spanish speakers is there's a lot of people who scam because they don't know English. I just had an agent call me this past week how one family got scammed into refinancing. They were at a 3% interest rate. Now they're at an 8%, and they're going to
What?
foreclose their home. And
No.
I think it was really just maybe getting a little bit of closing costs, or getting another client to refinance. And it's really sad to hear these things, because at this point is, if it's happened after, and like at this, for this family, we can't do anything.
Yeah.
And as much as we want to help them, we can only lead them to maybe an attorney, but we can't give legal advice, and we can't undo what has already been done.
Wow, that's awful. That's awful. So that is powerful what you're able to do. And you mentioned TikTok, and I've mentioned it before that that's how we're connected, because nowadays that's the beauty of social media. I feel like we are living in amazing times as business owners, as realtors, that instead of reaching somebody through a newspaper or directly going door to door, which is amazing, all those different strategies are really awesome. But the power of social media is extremely amazing. I am a number one fan. And so tell me a little bit about how you're reaching people on TikTok or on Instagram or whatever social media you're using.
My journey really started on TikTok when COVID happened. It was actually my ex-mother-in-law. She was loving TikTok. You know, it was taking off, right? That 2020.
Yes.
She's like, Miriam, why don't you do it? And I was like, yeah, sure. Let me try it. And sure enough, and I think it was because there was a lack of Spanish speakers, one, and a lack of resources in Spanish, and the kind of houses that I was showcasing, like, hey, you can purchase this for only this much down payment. It kind of took off. It got to the point where I think I'm about 80,000 followers now.
80,000, Miriam?
Yeah.
That is crazy. And did you start with real estate content or more personal
with
stuff?
making videos with my daughter Evangeline.
Oh my gosh,
I would make like
it.
the mommy and me videos
Yeah.
and just like fun content, and I transitioned that into well, let me make it real estate, and I kept it real estate. And for a long time I wouldn't talk there. I would post little facts and I'll post homes, but I was so afraid to talk and show my face. And the first video I made, I did talk and I said a word, and I said taxas, which is Spanglish for like taxes and impuestos. And it went viral. It hit almost 1 million views, if not the million views, but not in the so positive way. It was like, why would I buy a house from you? You can't talk English, right?
Yeah.
Even though or Spanish, right? I'm sorry. Even though my Spanish is pretty, I pretty well spoken, if I do say so myself.
Yes, of course.
But you know, we are gonna talk Spanglish, and to me that was Texas. But
so you got a lot of backlash.
I did.
From saying one little word.
Yes, but you know
gosh.
what? That's when I learned. It's true. Good publicity, bad publicity, it's publicity. And sometimes I will now go there and use the same word because I know it kind of get those viewers going.
Hilarious.
And it still does bring me those clients that like, oh, hey, I would have never seen this video, but all these comments are pushing it up. So I'm like, hey, whatever it takes.
Hey, and I've seen even like big marketing people or big coaches or stuff, they say, like, I'll put in a little typo here and there because it gets engagement. People are wanting to be correct and they want to be the person that...
Absolutely.
That is too funny. Well, I am so glad that from that word, which is taxas, impuestos, whatever, like it doesn't matter. But I'm so glad that it was able to bring more reach to you because I see you helping so many people. So you've mentioned your daughter. And you mentioned going through a divorce. You've mentioned other stuff about your journey in your TikToks and part of other things that we've seen and read about you. Can you tell us a little bit of some challenges that you've been through as a realtor?
Yes, absolutely. And that was becoming a single mom pretty much when I started real estate. We knew with my ex-husband that it was just not working out. We tried it, but we decided that let's end here before we hate each other and before our daughter grows up having to deal with traumas that were not her fault. And it was us, and us as parents made this decision for the best judgment. And it was the best decision we could have made because now we are good friends. And there have been times where I have been able to confide things in him and him in mine, and always keeping Evangeline in mind and never bad mouthing each other to her or in front of her and our families as well, always keeping that mutual respect to make sure, again, that she grows up having a healthy environment. Just because we're not together does not mean that she can't have this great, loving life where both parents love her and his girlfriend loves her. And I love that she does. Her name is Leslie, and she's such a beautiful person to Evangeline. And that's all I could ever ask for. Just be good to her. And I promise you, I will always accept you and love you and respect you and your relationship. So that was one of the situations, being a single mom, taking her to open houses. I mean, she's
Oh
here
my
now with us.
goodness. Yes.
Because sometimes it's a little bit
Guest.
difficult to find that. But I have been incredibly blessed to have my mom as a big support, to have, again, her dad in the picture, and just to have my clients that have been understanding that sometimes I do have to bring her along. And now that she's in school, it's a little bit easier because now I get to work that Monday through Friday while she's in school, and I take care of business. But now it's a kind of a different situation because it's with my agents and not my clients.
Yeah.
Right? Now it's my agents. Like, hey, sometimes she might be at the meetings, but I think now, again, because she's in school, it's a little bit easier. But having that challenge of now I'm the sole financial provider for Evangeline. I am the breadwinner. I am the mom. I am the dad because she is with me most of the time. And I remember just whenever we first divorced, I cried so much, and I prayed so much, and I said, God, help me because I am so scared. I was so afraid, but he gave me the resources and gave me the tools to be able to provide for her.
I love that. That's amazing. So any real estate professional that's out there, and I say professional because we can be talking to loan officers or real estate agents or brokers. So what's one thing that you recommend? Because adversities are going to come. Like I've seen so many times, especially for newer agents, getting started is so hard, especially now. I feel like in today's market, it's not like it was 2 years ago. So not so easy, but like people were wanting to buy, sell, move.
Yeah.
So what is one thing that has helped you always go through adversities? Because you've gotten here after years of challenges, after struggle after struggle. What has kept you going?
Evangeline.
Oh my gosh,
Knowing that I
it.
had to keep going and really it's taken it down to the basics. And what I see now, even for myself and agents who continue to be top producers and continue to never fail to have that closing, maybe once a week, twice a week, or just have a lineup of closings, is so simple. It's just consistency. It's just being consistent in what already is working for you. If it's TikTok videos, post your TikTok videos. Do not stop posting. Keep it going. And I know it's hard. I know it's hard to wake up every day and think, oh, I got to do this again.
Yes.
And maybe getting bored of the routine or tired of the routine. But keep in mind, the routine is what's helping you. The routine is what got you this far and keeps you going. And if you love it, you're going to love that routine because at the end of the day, it is what's feeding your family and it is what's keeping your clientele going. So consistency is the baseline of it all. And just keep doing it. And keep yourself motivated. Hype yourself up every day and I can do this.
Yes.
I have this goal I'm going to reach and I will reach it and this is what I have to do to reach it and just breaking it down.
I love it. I love it. Yes. Okay, so let's move on from the rocky parts of your journey. You've been through craziness. You've overcome it, thank God. And now, last week, you launched something special and special things are brewing. Tell us about it, please.
Thank you. So I launched my own real estate brokerage.
Oh my goodness.
Alumbra Properties. And Alumbra means to light, to guide. And my friend and I, Isa, we were throwing names around. What are we going to name this company? She's like, well, what do you want, Miriam? And I'm like, I want to guide my agents. I want to be a resource for them because I felt like I always had to look here and call this person and have to reach out to another one and make another call there. And I want to be able to gather all that information, everything I've learned, everything that I reached out to and just hand it to them. Here you go.
Wow.
Here is a product of all my hard work, of all of my mistakes, of everything that I've encountered. And I'm giving it to you. Here's the blueprint. Now make it yours and grow it and be an amazing realtor. And she's like, well, what about Alumbra? She's like, Alumbra means to light. And she knew I wanted to keep it Spanish to kind of go back to my roots and my culture, even though it's not just for Spanish agents. It's for everyone. But I did want to keep that one part of me. And I was like, wow, I love it. I love Alumbra. Now it's like, is it Alumbra Properties or is it Alumbra Real Estate? Like, which one? And we were like, Alumbra Properties. That one is what we want it to be.
Yeah. Because you also, well, real estate and properties is very similar, but you also have started investing and teaching
Yes.
about that too, your experiences. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so the hardest part for me was budgeting, learning how to budget, but I knew I had to learn how to budget right off the bat because, again, I'm the sole financial provider for my daughter. We had this mobile home, and then we went into an apartment after, and I needed to figure out I need to pay my bills. I need to pay my car note, and I have my insurance, and how much am I really making? How much am I spending for marketing? So I broke down all my budget and then taxes because we're 1099. We don't get taxes pulled out. So
Yeah.
the first time I had to do taxes, I was like, wow, that's a lot.
Oh my goodness.
I was like,
What
that's
is
a
it?
lot
Like
of money.
15% of our
It was a, yeah. It was a
It
big
hurts.
chunk. It did, and I was not prepared for it. And I realized I should have been prepared for this because, of course, taxes were going to be taken out. And so I went to a CPA and I went to a financial advisor and I said, help me. I don't really know how to do this. And I think for me, I've never been afraid to ask for help when I didn't know something, because if I don't know, in my head it makes sense. Well, let me find out. Let me figure out how to do it.
That's powerful.
And I think it's something that a lot of people should be afraid to speak up and ask for help when they need
Yeah.
help. And that's how you learn, that's how you grow. And now, because I was able to ask for help and I did receive that help, and learning how to lower my taxes and legally, right?
Yes.
Legally,
Yes.
now I can teach that to my agents. And we have trainings every week, and one of those trainings coming up are lowering your taxes for 2024
Wow.
because tax season is coming in. Can you buy a car to offset some of your taxes without depreciating your income to be able to purchase your home next year? Just little simple things that can make the biggest difference.
Yeah. That's like Raul's area. He's like, can I buy a car?
Technically,
He's
I
like,
can
"Yes."
write it off. So here I pull up in my new car. Yeah.
But that is powerful. Like you mentioned, agents. I've seen on social media, like month 1, 0, month 2, 0,
Yeah.
month 3, 15,000, month 4, 200, or things like that. And your income changes month after month. And if
Yes.
you do not ask for help, because
Yeah.
a lot of us, we are not trained, or we haven't been raised to have like good
Oh, no. Yeah.
money habits or things like that. So if you don't ask for help, reaching out to a financial advisor, reaching out to a CPA, we can be totaled by our finances, by taxes, by taxes, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it. Okay, so that is powerful. Having a leader, as the broker that you are, having a leader that knows how to ask for help and is also willing to give that help so beautifully to your agents. So let's go back a little bit to that Alumbra Properties. What do you aspire for your agents? Because you are super, I love it. You are super, like, you want to give your heart out to them. And I see that, I feel it. I see it how in you, but in your actions as well, how you want to help out your agents. Tell me what you're doing for them besides that amazing budgeting class, how they are going to grow with Alumbra Properties.
Yeah, so one of the first things that I offer them as soon as they onboard is to schedule a one-on-one with me, because I love ideas. I love coming up with new things and things that I haven't seen before. So please schedule a one-on-one marketing class. We're going to discuss your personal branding to include a website, to include a logo, to include a day-to-day of tell me your big goals, and I'm going to break them down for you, just like I did for me. And I asked them, like, is this doable? We'll look at their day to day. Like, can you make these 3 phone calls a day so it can get you to what you told me you wanted? Oh, yeah, I can do that. Okay, can you make 1 post a day talking about your niche that you just told me you wanted to reach? Oh, yeah, I can do that. And sometimes I think it takes that, just breaking it down and simplifying it to the most minimal part that you can, and watch it grow, and keeping that consistency and having those. We're going to have quarterly sales meetings where it's like, okay, we're here one-on-one. Where are you now? And did this work for you? Did it not? Why or why not? And did you actually execute it? Which is the hardest part, right? Because I can sit here and tell you what to do, kind of. But if you don't do it, then I can only do so much. But that's what those quarterly check-ins are going to be for, to make sure that if they're not doing it, well, why not? What else can I do to help you? Or if it's just something like a little bit of motivational. So it's really just building their personal branding so that they can know how to market themselves, and learning how to finance, putting those two together with marketing and business, I just feel like there is no stopping them.
I know. That's so powerful. I love it. Personal branding, especially for real estate agents, is so important nowadays.
Yes.
And it's not easy, but it's, what is the word to say that it's so doable? Like you
Yes.
mentioned, it's so doable because you don't have to be so professional, or not professional, but you can be yourself and post
Yes.
organic things. And I mean, that's how we've made a lot of connections, just being ourselves and showing our true, authentic colors and just connecting with people that want to work with us, right? So, what do you say to agents that say, I just want to work with anybody that'll do business with me, but there's a sort of attraction or detraction that we get from clients, especially like I've seen our type of branding ourselves is like we we don't try to post our kids so much, but we try to show our clients that we're family oriented, because since we're family oriented, that means we have family times that we have to separate and keep that time special and sacred, because our family and us being together and our boys being content and happy is what means the world to us. So we have to respect our time, and our clients see that. So we attract more like family honoring people, right? What do you
Yes.
say to agents? Sometimes they're afraid to show who they are, their authentic self, because they're like, oh, they might not want to work with me. Or tell me, what advice do you have for that?
Yeah, so it really is a sticky situation when it comes to that, because it depends who you are and what you want to do. So if you have agents, and I've had agents like, I want to work with luxury clients. Well, you have to post luxury. You have to post that you are walking with your Coach bag, because luxury clients want to work with people who know money, because it's not a first time home buyer who needs to know how to, close. It's a client who needs to know, or needs to know that you understand their lifestyle, that you understand exactly what they're looking for, what finishes you're looking at. They need to know that you know the terminology of what luxury is versus just, oh, this is vinyl and this is hardware floor.
Yeah.
So it's so different. So I would definitely say your marketing does have to reach out to the type of client that you want to service. And sometimes that may mean making a little change, but if that change goes with your goal and it's a good change that will benefit you and market yourself and you branch yourself out to reach that goal, then go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
And it is kind of not having to change yourself. But for example, me, I have my tattoos and I love my tattoos, but I will not be posting my tattoos all the time and making them the center of who I am, because I understand the branding and the marketing that I want to give, especially as a business owner and as a woman who already has so many obstacles to overcome, of not only being a single mom, so not having a person that I can go home to and, hey, how do I do this? What did you think of that? And kind of figuring that part out myself, but also Spanish being my first language. So sometimes having to translate things a little bit more, taking me a little bit longer, not to understand them, but to solidify of the message that I want to transcend, because now I have to have that bridge.
Yeah.
And it's like I know that there are some things that I want to promote or not promote, and that is one of them. So it's not necessarily change yourself, but definitely you have to figure out exactly what you want, and if you're going to do it, go all out and really really do it.
I love it. I love it. Because attraction marketing is super powerful.
Yes.
It's super powerful and effective. And like you say, if I want to show up with, like for college students, then where do I have to be?
Yeah.
Maybe hanging out where college students hang out and doing the fun stuff that college
Oh,
students.
yeah.
And I'm sure they're going to begin to trust me and get attracted to me because I relate. The relatability factor has a big thing to do
Absolutely.
with it. I love it. Okay, so to end it off, we're gonna end off. These were icebreaker questions. So instead of icebreaker questions, what's the thing that we say at the end? I don't know. Questions to end off the show, and we're gonna have a special guest if that's okay. Evangeline, do you want to come help mommy out, answer some questions? Yeah.
Yeah, come on.
Okay, are you ready? Let's see who knows Miriam more. Bachata or norteño music? That one's tricky, right? Yeah, she's like, what is that?
Bachata.
Bachata! I love it. Okay. To work out or get your nails done?
Get your nails done.
Yes, we love getting our nails done together.
That's funny. So I saw that y'all went to Greece. Tell me about that amazing Greece vacation.
Oh, so I've been wanting to go to Greece for the longest time.
Yeah.
And I kept telling myself, we take a trip every year, a mommy and daughter trip.
Oh.
And this year I wanted to go international because I
Yeah.
have never been. I've gone to like Mexico and other places, but never across. And I had been wanting to go since last year. And I didn't plan it earlier than I wanted to because I wasn't sure if I was still going to do it. But once her birthday came around, I told myself, let's go, let's do it.
Yay.
It was actually, I was in a car accident a little bit after her birthday, and I realized there was so many things that I still wanted to do, and why limit myself to those things? And I wanted to just be happy. I just wanted to look back at everything that I've done and be happy, and that was one of the things. So I booked the trip to Greece, and we had so much fun.
Yay.
We scheduled the photo shoot with the red dresses.
I saw that. So beautiful.
And I loved it because it was time to kind of get away from here for a little bit and look back at everything that had happened, everything that I had accomplished, and everything that I wanted to accomplish. And I remember just looking like at the vast ocean and praying more and just saying, telling God, if you want my company to start and you really want me to do this, you will let me find a way. And I came back, and that's when I officially started my company.
I love it. Well-deserved vacation before the craziness of starting a new
It really was.
Wow, I love it. And those videos and pictures that you post are so beautiful. Totally giving us, what is it, FOMO? But I'm so happy for you guys, and it's just beautiful to see that beautiful connection that you have with your daughter and how much you love her, and it's all we work for, right? We thank God for these beautiful little creatures that God has given us, and our life completely turns to them, right? To help them live a beautiful life. So it has been an absolute honor to hear about your journey, to hear about what you're continuing to do and how you're continuing to grow with Alumbra Properties, the way that you're going to be guiding your agents, continue guiding them. And so I'm so glad that you spent the time here with us. We're so grateful for this beautiful time to get to know you a little deeper. And, well, this is a wrap.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Miriam.